Hey there, and welcome to another episode. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Cotty, and I'm the founder of Restored Minds. And in this episode, I want to talk about why you need to believe in recovery. And so, real quick before we dive into the episode, I want to just point out that in the notes down below, in the links of the show, there's a new workshop that I just conducted, and you now have access to the replay of that. And so there's a little link where you can get access to that, as well as there's a free guide as well. For those of you that are looking to kind of start on this journey or looking for additional resources, just wanted to let you know that that's where those are. So please check those out when you can. And then potentially upcoming next month, I'm thinking about doing a scrupulosity workshop. So, if that would be something that you'd be interested in, email me, let me know. It's just kind of on the drawing board right now. So let's go ahead and talk about why you need to believe in recovery. So you may have heard the term, right? Seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. And this is so important when it comes to, your life in general, right? Just as a life principle here. But when we're talking about OCD and anxiety recovery, as is the general theme of this entire show, when it comes to believing in recovery, that changes it really is the foundation for your entire success. It changes everything. So let me talk about what I mean by that. So a lot of people operate from this idea of seeing is believing, right? Or, and what I mean by that is like, okay, well, I'm going to try to implement this tool or this tool or this tool or this tool. And if I see results, then I will believe in recovery. And this is a completely backwards model, and and odds are you're not going to see much, if any, success using this approach. So this idea of like, if I'm going to try this and if I see results, like if I tangibly see that this is working, then I will believe in it. The problem is that our behaviors are driven by our beliefs and our identities. Okay. And our identities are just beliefs about who we are, right? Which are, again, and beliefs are just stories. They're stories that we operate from. And if you operate from the idea that I can't recover, right? Like, let's just think about this. Let's just think about, because a lot of people, you read something on a blog or you see someone else on a podcast or YouTube and they say something like, well, you know what? This is chronic. You're always going to have this. And then you adopt that story. Because all that is that person's opinion. If that was a fact, then there would be no documented historical case of people recovering from OCD and anxiety. And there's plenty of them. Okay. So it's like that's just someone perpetuating their own belief. Usually it's just someone who hasn't had success on their own journey. So they just perpetuate that. Or it's a therapist, or someone who works with people with OCD and anxiety who doesn't really understand how to help them. So they perpetuate this idea that it's just chronic. Because if I couldn't help them or if I couldn't get results, then this must be the reality for everyone. And it's just nonsense. So, and I know this is a little harsh, but it's just reality, So that's their belief, and then they put that out there. And then other people, again, adopt the belief. A lot of what you believe in life is just something you've adopted from someone else, not even something that you've consciously chosen. Most people aren't even aware of what they believe, right? They think that, they usually get indoctrinated by schools or their parents or someone else. And then all of a sudden they think that those are their actual beliefs because they've just been, implanted in them. And this is some of the deepest and best work you could ever do on yourself, is really understanding what you believe, breaking limiting beliefs, and then installing the beliefs that you want to choose to live by. And when it comes to recovery from OCD and anxiety with our beliefs, if we're operating from a belief of it's impossible to get better, let's just say that that's a belief, right? Or, we might have that belief because maybe we tried 5 different therapists, right? Maybe we tried, 15 different books and seen minimal progress. So, it must be impossible, right? I mean, I can remember feeling like that at times, right? And if we have that belief and we go and try to engage in behavioral modification, do you see how that's not going to fuel the behavioral modification in any way, shape or form that's going to make us successful? Like, let's use a different example. If I believe quitting smoking is impossible, now I don't smoke, but if I was a smoker and I believe that quitting smoking is impossible, or it's very, very, very difficult, any attempt that I make that is underlined with that belief is going to be a minimal attempt at best, because my belief is I'm always going to fall back to my belief. And so people have these beliefs about dieting. They have these beliefs about relationships, right? I mean, all this stuff. If you're operating from the idea of marriage is so hard, right? And that's just your story, you're going to start seeing all the ways that marriage is hard. And this is what I mean when I say, instead of seeing is believing, right? And I'm going to do, and then I'm going to believe it one day. I need to start believing, and then I will start seeing. What you need to understand is your beliefs shape the way you see the world. I'm becoming more and more convinced that there's not an objective reality that's out there that everyone sees. There's what's actually happening, and then there's your perception that's distorted based on your beliefs. You have the capacity to choose how you see the world. A lot of people think that they're just seeing things and it's just the way it is, where it's like, no, like your beliefs distort what you're seeing in a good way or a bad way. And so if you choose to see, let's just say that, with relationships, if you're like relationships are so hard and you just have that belief, well, every time you look at your spouse, you're going to start seeing all the ways in which this is a challenging thing, versus if you operate like, marriage is one of the best things that's ever happened to me. It's like, then you're going to start to see, or like, I have an amazing spouse. Like, I have an amazing wife, right? For me, if I operate from that belief, I'm going to start seeing that more and more and more, and instead, and I can choose what I want to believe. And when it comes to my, recovery, it's like, yes, my recovery is not only possible, right? It's going to happen. And if I'm anchoring into beliefs, it will shape what I see and ultimately what I do. And this is why you need to believe in recovery. You have to believe in your recovery as like the depth of your heart, right? Like it is the end outcome that is in my future. And because if you don't, what's going to happen is whatever you do believe in, if you don't know what you believe in, like that's the first place to start, is like, hey, what do I really believe about this? What are the stories that I just have going on? This is just how I am, right? A lot of people have that story, right? This is just how I am. It's part of my personality, right? These are beliefs. I just have an obsessive personality, total beliefs. And if you believe that, though, you're just, again, everything you do is just going to be justified because that's the belief that you carry. And so challenging these behaviors is going to be very difficult, because you're just going to say, well, it's just who I am. I can't change who I am, right? And I hope you're seeing the power of this, because this is why in TBC we work so much on belief, because belief fuels behavior, and behavior is what keeps the loop going. So if you aren't aware of your beliefs, and more importantly, you haven't installed beliefs that are going to help you on your recovery, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle. And if you're operating from seeing is believing, like I'll believe this when I see this, you're always going to operate from the same limiting beliefs, and therefore you're never going to see change. Where if you understand that believing is seeing, and you start working at identifying and changing your limiting beliefs that you're bringing into this, whether they were put on you by someone else or you had adopted them from someone, it doesn't matter really how you got them. What matters is that you realize what they are and you work to change them. Because that will make the biggest difference in your path to recovery, in my opinion. So wanted to share that today. And, I really hope that you can start to take that and work with it. Again, in the workshop, in the notes, we talk about beliefs, right? We actually start introducing that concept about how to start identifying limiting beliefs. So you can check that out as a secondary or kind of a next step, so to speak. And then also, if you're struggling with OCD and anxiety related struggles or anything on the stress spectrum, over at Restored Minds, like, we're here to help you. We have different resources available for you, different programs, different options. So please check us out and let us know. You can fill out an application. It's free, and we can get back on what we think the best next step would be for you. So thank you so much for hanging out today. I hope this has been helpful. And I wish you guys as always, great success on your journey. Take care. Thank you so much for watching that video. And so if you're struggling with OCD and anxiety, I just wanted to let you know that we have a free training for you over at Restored Minds, where you can start learning how to use our AAA response to really break out of that loop and ultimately take back control of your life. And all you need to do to access is just click the little link below, and you'll be taken to a page where you can register today. Thank you so much.